Battlefield 6 is releasing later today, and so far I've thoroughly enjoyed my experience in the open betas in August. It's definitely looking like the FPS that will be taking over in the last quarter of this year, with the beta racking up over 500,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. In today's video, I wanted to discuss the question, which is, will Delta Force survive on PC and console once EA's Juggernaut launches? So let's start by talking about the current state of Delta Force. Season 6 launched less than a month ago, and while the content is somewhat light, it is decent. The map, Fault, could use some rebalancing and finessing of the playable area. As for the new operator, purely from a warfare perspective, he's slightly underpowered in my opinion, but fun to play. And the new weapons were really the highlight of the season, at least for me, specifically the Marlin lever action. As for the overall balancing of the game, stability, and general improvements, while there have been some, they are few and far between. At least on PC, game performance has been going down as the seasons progress. Vehicle versus infantry balance has not been touched and is, generally speaking, a pretty contentious topic, but it certainly isn't great. Quality of life improvements have been pretty much non-existent, which I've touched on multiple times. Now, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy my time in Delta Force, but some days it can be incredibly frustrating, and that starts to be a problem when you have serious competition entering the scene. Battlefield 6 is probably one of the most anticipated entries in the franchise in a very long time, and overall, longtime franchise veterans and even newcomers seem to have enjoyed the beta and the content roadmap that was already provided for the first few months, and it's nothing short of exciting. If the beta is indicative of the overall polish the game has on release, I think it's pretty safe to say that a ton of players will be jumping in day one, and considering Battlefield is basically one of the original combined arms games on the market, Delta Force might be in for a bit of a tough time. So obviously a comparison between the two games can easily be made considering they share a very similar pool of players, but they both offer different experiences, with Battlefield having the standard multiplayer and releasing a battle royale shortly thereafter, as well as the single player campaign, while Delta Force has the same multiplayer facet but offers an extraction mode and of course the Black Hawk Down single player campaign. Both offer chaotic, sandboxy gameplay in large-scale maps, but one can't make a comparison between the two games without talking about the biggest difference being the price point. Battlefield 6 is obviously a premium priced game that not everyone will buy into day one, and that is completely fair as not everyone has the means to purchase a full price game, and then you have the crowd of people that doesn't necessarily want to jump in day one, they'll wait for a sale. On the other hand, Delta Force is completely free, offering up a ton of content for absolutely $0, which is awesome for the FPS combined arms scene. And it probably got a lot of players to get into that type of game because there was simply no barrier to entry. Now, Battlefield 6 will also provide a free-to-play component in the form of the Battle Royale, potentially tempting players of that mode to purchase the product, but that is releasing a little bit later down the line. There's also the fact that Delta Force has a massive mobile player base, while Battlefield canned their mobile version of the game many years back before it was even released. I honestly think there's enough room for both games to succeed long term. Adding on to that, competition is great for us as gamers. It hopefully pushes the devs to put their best foot forward when it comes to future support for either title and provides us with the best possible gaming experience, with a swath of content for us to experience no matter which game we end up playing. Fingers crossed that this is what will happen with both Battlefield 6 and Delta Force, that each of the game's respective devs put their best foot forward and provide us with that awesome content. And while a lot of players might be migrating to Battlefield 6 for the time being, I can definitely see people going back to Delta Force when there's new content that comes out because they've invested so much time in the game over the past, 10 months plus. As for myself, I will keep playing and making content on both games because I enjoy them and I enjoy making guides, weapon builds, and general videos for either of them. And I really just wanted to touch on this topic because I think it makes a lot of sense to discuss considering that both games are fighting for that same pool of players. In any case, whether you are sticking to Delta Force, migrating to Battlefield 6, or splitting your time between both, I hope you have a blast, and I look forward to seeing you in the comments section of future videos and live streams on the channel where I want to make it a home for combined arms FPS games. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments section down below. Your thoughts on the current state of Delta Force, your thoughts on Battlefield 6 as a game if you had the chance to play the beta. And that's it for today's video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.